Hey fam, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here, back for another recap of Dangerously Obese. This is season 2, episode 2. Yeah, entitled The Supersized Version. My overall thoughts of this great episode, I found myself crying at one point just because you never know what people are going through. And in watching this show, you see how much people transform as they lose weight. And it's just beautiful to see a person go from where they look like they're sad and they're bound and, there's things going on to a place where they're free. And I think we got a little taste of that in this episode. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So, we begin the episode meeting 22-year-old Ty. He's from a part of Georgia and he works full time at a loan and tax office. He is a single child that comes from a very close knit family. Right. His immediate unit is his mom and his dad, his stepmom, and his cousins. We do not see like his grandparents and things of that nature, but there's pictures and stuff where he's shown with them and they're blurred out. So my guess is maybe they didn't feel comfortable with being on camera. But either way, his family is close because we even hear him talk about how grateful he is for them. So he currently lives with his cousin and I should say cousins, because I believe he said his two cousins invited him to come stay with him. So his cousins and their three kids, and he loves it there. The energy to me in the kitchen just shows like how much this family bonds and how close they are. So he's a young man that has struggled with weight for most of his life. But what makes his story different is that the journey isn't just physical, there's a lot of emotional as well as spiritual struggle there as well. He lets us know that in sixth grade, he was bullied really, really badly to the point where he got picked on constantly by this one particular guy, and he was prepared to unalive himself. The him saying it, when he said it, I felt my heart like drop for him, because he wasn't just going through things and being bullied because of his appearance. There was other stuff going on there as well. So this jerk picked on him constantly to the point where he wrote a letter about ending it all. And one of his friends saw the notebook, realized that he was prepared to unalive himself, and reported it to a teacher. That teacher got him some help. He spoke with the counselor and things of that nature, and he was able to get the help that he needed. I personally feel like that's just yet another reminder of how important, how vital, how dope educators and school administrators are, because your part in these kids' lives matter. I can't help but wonder what would have happened, or how badly things would have been if he didn't get that help, if his friend didn't speak up. So I'm really, really glad that he had that. Now, Ty grew up in a strict Christian household. And from a young age, he was taught that being gay was wrong, which made things even more complicated for him, because as early as the age of 12, he knew that he was gay. Now, food became his way of dealing with his feelings because he couldn't come out and just say it. And all he did as a result of that was continue to pack on the weight. As early as middle school, he had health complications, being diagnosed with high blood pressure. And more recently, I think he said in the last year, he was diagnosed with sleep apnea. In high school, he reached 400 pounds. I think he said actually over 400 pounds. And he currently has high blood pressure. We see him as he's in the backyard with the kids and he can't play with the kids, and he's out of breath when he walks, and you can even hear him breathing when he's doing something as simple as sitting down. So he often excuses himself from certain situations because he knows that he can't participate. and he kind of isolates himself during those moments. So he really wants to get this thing under control, and he's decided to have bariatric surgery. So he heads over to his father and his stepmother's house. Let me go ahead and make this big because I want y'all to see these two people as they're on the screen. And actually, this is a good angle here because I'm gonna show you another picture. I want you to look at these two people as I read what happens. So he heads over to his stepfather's house and he talks about how, his father and his stepmother are very supportive of him, to the point where when he did come out to them, which I believe he said was a year ago when he came out, his father cried, but he slept on it. And the next day he was there for him and he was supportive of him and he accepted him. So now he's heading over to tell them something else. And the stepmom's like, okay, well, the last time you came over here and you said something, you had something to tell us. You told us, that you were gay. So what is it that, like, you can't be that, that you're telling us. I'm not laughing at, it's the way she said, I'm like, okay, girl, gracious. So he lets them know that, he's thought about it. He's done a lot of things, tried all the diets and all those other stuff, and he's going to get surgery. His father's initial response to that is, why don't you just put the fork down? Baby, the way that I was ready to say some things about this man when he said, why don't you just put the fork down? And then I realized, no, wait, can keep hearing him out, keep hearing him out. And then she opened her mouth and told him that maybe he should go to the gym or do a diet plan and all these other things. And I'm listening to all this advice that they have for him when neither one of these people are small. He even said it himself in the beginning of the episode that he came from a family of obesity. Like, all of them are obese. So y'all got all the answers for him, but you're not that small yourself, is what I was thinking. But I get it. It is what it is. Like, everybody, we can all say things about everybody else, because let's be clear, I'm not small either. I need to join him. It's all right, though. I'm getting it together. Anyways, so he tells them that he wants to do this. So his father is apprehensive, but he says, if you've done the research and if you feel like this is what's going to work for you, then I'm going to be okay with it. And his father lets us know, like, look, my son isn't the type of son that's just going to look for the easy way out. So if he really, really feels like this is going to be beneficial to him, then I support him. And it's good to see. So we see him head to Dr. Proctor's office. Oh, I'm so petty, y'all. I did. This is later in the episode, but I forgot I put this picture in here just because I want you to see them sitting next to each other. I told you the other picture is a better angle. This is his stepmother that has so much to say about the way he should be eating, when she to herself should make some changes. Yeah. Anyways, so let's get back to what I should be on, which is that he heads to meet Dr. Proctor with his aunt Kyle. I didn't put a picture of her in here. She has already had the bariatric surgery and she meets him there to support him. So Dr. Proctor says at Ty's age, his weight is very unusual. Like, you don't normally see people getting bariatric surgery at such a young age, but because of the weight, he feels like, and his health problems, he feels like he is going to benefit from this. So Ty tells Dr. Proctor that he eats twice a day, but he gorges when he eats. Now, when he first said it, I was like, but then I thought about it myself, and I don't necessarily gorge, but I am also somebody who skips meals in such a bad way. Like right now, it is, what time is it? It's 10:37 as I'm recording this. And my plan after this is to make some pasta and eat it. It's terrible, but I'm hungry. Yeah, this is what I'm saying about, I'm listening here. Anyways, so he says that, he skips breakfast. He eats twice a day. Sometimes he'll eat lunch. Sometimes he just eats dinner, but he skips breakfast, doesn't do much lunch, and his dinner is huge. And then he goes to bed. So Dr. Proctor is listening to this, and Dr. Proctor says, you know what, looking at you, I'm sure that's what you do. Where I'm looking at him like, I don't really believe it. But then I listen to Dr. Proctor and there's some truth to it. He says, with Ty eating late, and him deciding to eat his largest caloric intake so late of at night, that is part of the reason why he gains weight, because you eat this really really big meal, right? And then you go to sleep for 8 hours when your body is at rest, when you're not burning off those calories, when your metabolism is already slow because you starved yourself, and now your body is trying to hold on to it because it does not know when the next time is that you're going to eat. I said, okay, I got you. I got you, Dr. Proctor. Thank you. I see you. So it's time to step on the scale. Now he is terrified. What did I do? Oh, hold on a second, y'all. Oh, I thought I lost my notes. Woo! Okay. Yeah, look, I need these. So he is terrified. And you can see the fear in his face. This is actually a picture of him getting on the scale. And he's thinking that he is not over 500 pounds. So he gets on the scale and he sees 505 pounds. And you can tell that it's hitting him. And you can tell that he's also embarrassed because he gets red in the face. And he sits down. He's like, he never thought he would weigh that much. And he tells us that it's a wake up call for him. Now, Dr. Proctor lets him know, like, look, you got a month to drop 50 pounds, which is interesting because last week, didn't he give her 2 months to do the same thing? But that goes back to the fact that Ty is 22 years old. He's younger. So his body may be different. And he's also a man. I think that these are all things that we need to consider when we hear some of these numbers. So he tells him, this isn't going to be a thing where you just get to, have the surgery and then boom. You have to do the work. That's exercise. That's counting calories. That's doing what you're supposed to do. He says, how is it that your family bonds? And he tells him that his family bonds over making meals. Like everybody in the family cooks, like they like to fry things and do all those things. And he says, I'm not trying to take away that activity from you. I'm not trying to make it so that you can't bond in that way. But what we need to do is we need to change the way that you go about that. So he's ready to get started. And one of the things that I like about Dr. Proctor is Dr. Proctor is stern, but you can tell that he cares. And it takes a lot for him to kind of snap off on you. Now, I kind of miss that about the old Dr. Now, because Dr. Now used to say some crazy things. But I like Dr. Proctor's style because me personally, if I were a situation where I were his patient, I think that I would want to, deal with someone that seems a little bit more compassionate, just because I'm already judging myself because I let myself get to this point. So of course, not everybody wants to get, that hard treatment. And I think he just, yeah, he's more personable to me. So he dismisses him and tells him he'll see him in a month. So because he is in this part of Georgia, he decides that he's going to meet with his friend, and that friend's name, I believe, was Nat. Now, Nat is talking to him, right? And he's telling him, like, what you got going on. And he lets him know that he saw the doctor, and he tells him about the goal of him to lose 50 weight. So Nat's like, how do you feel about that? Because that's a lot. And he knows that Nat himself doesn't like to exercise. So how are you feeling? So he's like, he's nervous, but he's gonna do it. So he's supposed to be dieting, but he orders, because he's like, you want a margarita? I said, that if you're gonna help him, sir. Don't be getting him them sugary drinks now. He's like, okay, how about you make it a skinny one? So he's a little apprehensive, Ty is, but he does get a skinny margarita, and I get those too. And let me tell you, it doesn't work because I'm not skinny. I love me a skinny margarita, like to the point where they have the club cocktails, skinny margaritas at Food Line. They have them at 7-Eleven too if you have one of those. The Wawa, all of them places. But get them from Food Line because they're cheaper. A lot of times they're on sale. and baby, the way touch your nose, touch your nose. The way on what day is it? Friday. Me, I have a date with a skinny margarita. Yes, me. Oh, you want to know another good place, but they're not skinny. The any man, no, I'm not gonna do that. A margarita from anywhere. Ooh, Mexican spot especially, but those aren't skinny. Baby, yes, give me one and I'm good. Anyways, back to this, because y'all need to know all that. My point is it has a lot of sugar and it doesn't make you skinny. So they talk about things. They talk about, what's going on, what he plans to do. He says that he wants to get to this point where he's more secure. He wants to do things like dating, and he wants him to like, he just basically wants to be a better person. So the subject of religion comes up, and Nat tells him that he gets the fact that he struggles with religion and his sexuality because Nat himself struggled, and he knows how important religion is to him. So he thinks that he has a pastor that his friend Ty should talk to. He said the church that he pastors at is friendly to our community, and it'd be a good place for you to start. So he's like, I'm going to give you his number. That way you can meet and you can talk to him. Now, we get a little bit more backstory, which is that Ty is from a small town and he knows that his lifestyle isn't accepted and he struggles with it. Because even we see him go to get a haircut and I don't know, the beautician, you know what to call her, the lady who's doing his hair, says to him, or says to us, that she understands that it's hard for him because they come from a community that is in what she's calling the Bible Belt. So it's very, very judgmental. He was raised in the church and it's just not acceptable. And he says, we even hear him say it later, not just to Nat, but also to the pastor, that he tried to pray the gay away. I was like, oh my goodness, my heart broke when he said that. That he hasn't been in a relationship and that he's never been intimate. He eventually wants love. He wants all of these things for himself. He came out last year, as I said, and the moment that he came out, he decided not to go back to church. He didn't want to deal with the judgment or the looks. And it just goes to show you how hard it was for him and how hard it is for others. If you're new to the channel, one of the things that I always say is that this world would be a better place if we lead in love. And I don't think that it is my job to judge anyone else. I have a few friends. But this one particular friend, I remember when he came out to us, it was after we graduated from college, and he let us know that, he is only attracted to men. And I remember some of the talks that we had and the things that we discussed and the way he bore his heart out to me in letting me know, like, I have tried, I have dated, which he did, I have dated some beautiful, amazing women, but I'm just going through the motions because I didn't want to risk losing people. And I don't want to have to go through the motions because I feel like I'm a shell of myself when I have to. And I just feel the way you want to feel about it. I'm not trying to make this about that, but don't be so quick to judge people when you don't know the struggles that they go through. And I think that's why a lot of this episode kind of had me getting a little emotional, because I have friends that have told me of their struggles and I've seen it for myself. I've seen the way that people have treated them, even their loved ones, because of something that isn't a choice. And that's what, makes this hard. I don't feel like people choose to just be berated and belittled and have certain rights and liberties taken away from them because of who they love. That's just my opinion. And I don't want to make this that, but I'm always going to keep it honest with how I feel. And that's how I felt in this. So, let's go ahead and jump to the next thing, because I feel like I was on that too long. Okay. So his diet is supposed to begin, y'all, right? And I got this picture. Let me go. His diet is supposed to be beginning. We don't see it, but we're told that he spoke with a nutritionist and he needs to have more protein, more vegetables, and he's supposed to stay away from carbs as much as possible. I want you to look and see what he's holding. If you can't see it, I'm going to tell you. He has a milkshake in his hand. He has chocolate chip cookies. Look like he went to McDonald's. And some French fries. Though if I know of a McDonald's fry, if I see one, that looks like he went to McDonald's. And if he has that in that, wait, did he go to McDonald's or did he go to somewhere else? Because if she came out and she saw that, I feel like a Big Mac or some chicken nuggets or something was in that thing there. Anyways, so he is eating this. This is day 4 of his diet. He is messing up. You're supposed to stay away from carbs. And I see a carb in your left hand. I see some more carbs on the table. With him telling his cousin as she calls him out on it, because all of them in the household is trying to encourage him. He tells his cousin that one night's not going to hurt. Now his cousin Lindsay is like, look, you can't be affording to do this. You said you're going to stick with this. And if you do this again, I'm going to be on you. I'm going to be watching you. So we see another night and he's in the kitchen drinking soda and I think eating chips. And his little baby cousin, one of the kids that lives in the house, sees him. I think her name was Raylan. And she sees him. This is the 5th night. And he's drinking the soda. And the moment that I saw this, I need to calm down. I got irritated. I got extremely irritated because here you are saying how much you want this, fighting for your life, having all these ailments and all these other things. And I'm feeling badly for you, but you're continuing to kill yourself little by little, cheating every night. But my frustration with him doesn't last long. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't. And it's because of the conversation that he has when he meets the pastor. So he goes to Pastor Matt's church, Virginia Highland Church. I think it was called something else, but that's what it says on the thing. So that's what we're going to call it. To unpack some of the emotional layers that led to his weight gain. So he talks about how much he prayed for nights and years for God to take away his attraction to men. And it got to the point where he gave up because as much as he was praying for the attraction to be taken away, it lingered. So Pastor Matt is like, is this something that you can, I can't remember how he worded it, but he basically let him know, like, you're praying for it, but it's not going to go away because it's who you are. He says that he thinks it's sad that people are told that they can pray the gay away because that does a lot of damage to the person and the way that they feel about themselves and their ability to accept themselves as they are. He says that it's sad. And I do believe that it's sad. Now, I understand because my mother and I have had these talks before, and my mother does think that it's something that you could pray away. And if you give it to God, that, he can take away those feelings from you. I necessarily don't believe that, but to each his own. The problem is, don't make people feel bad while they're going through whatever their process is. That's my opinion. So he cries because he says he's scared. That he's scared of what will come because food is his comfort and he's hid behind it for years. So Pastor Matt lets him know, like, look, you don't have to stop coming to church. There are churches around that will see you and love you as you are. And that is what it's supposed to be. Love a person as they are. I'm not saying have whatever feelings that you want to have, but don't mistreat them because you don't necessarily agree with who they are. So at this point, you can tell that he's relieved in this moment because now he feels like he can just go to church and he's happy to go back to church because he's missed it. And he's Pastor Matt tells him, you can have whatever relationship that you want to have with God, and you're welcome to come here anytime you want to. And he lets him know that he'll be praying for him. I think that Ty needed to know that God never stopped loving him. And I think that in talking to Pastor Matt, he was able to know that. I think that What a lot of people forget is that this internal struggle causes a lot of harm to people. And for him, it came out in different ways. So something at that point clicks in him because he lets us know that he stopped snacking and he's eating the things that he's supposed to be eating. So we see him eating things like some bland looking chicken and some broccoli and some lima beans. And I think he said some cauliflower rice. And he's weighing out his food and he's doing his meal prep. And then he's beginning to look at dating websites to get out there. And then he decides to finally exercise. So he wants, his desire is to be in drag. And he does his little dancing and we see him shake around a lot in the house and things of that nature. And he finds like a drag, I think he called it a drag class, fitness class to help him, get ready. So he meets his instructor, Cookie, and they begin to work out. It's simple stuff, like a shuffle here and a pose, and a shuffle there and a pose, and a couple of squats. And he's not working out long before he is winded, super winded. I mean, this is very low impact workout, and he's out of breath. And he's struggling. And Cookie's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "No." And he's bent over trying to catch his breath. And Cookie tells him, like, "Look, it's okay for you to take a break. You even showing up is a good thing. Just take your break. If you need to sit down, you can. We'll resume." I like that Cookie encouraged him to do it at his own pace and basically not to stop. So we see them getting to work out again, and he ends up enjoying the class. So after this, we see him go back to Dr. Proctor. He gets on the scale. He's nervous because we know he was cheating left and right that first week. But he gets on that scale and he weighs in at 455.8 pounds, meaning he made the 50-pound goal by the skin of his teeth, but he did it. So we see him have the surgery. I went ahead and put a big old blur on the top of it so y'all didn't have to look. I wanted to leave it up here, but everybody's not into that. But I enjoy it, y'all. I enjoy watching them as he, puts those probes in and everything, and watching with, I enjoy it. This one looked different though, because the other one he was sitting down doing it. This one he's standing up doing it. I forgot what he called it, but I think it was slightly different than the one that we saw him do last episode. So he, does the surgery. We get to see Dr. Proctor work a little bit, and then we flash to 10 months later. Ty's family is waiting for him outside of Pastor Matt, or should I say, the church that Ty now goes to. We hear Ty as he talks about how everything in this 10 months has changed for him. How he was so uncomfortable in his body and how he didn't want anyone to see him. And now he's in a space where he is truly happy with himself. We find out that he has lost 320 pounds, you guys, in 10 months. He did better than the other girl from last week and her mama. He's not playing. I think that he locked in. Something clicked for him with the conversation that he had with his pastor, and it was freeing for him. And it helped re-engage things. And I'm sure that there was some additional therapy and stuff that he did off camera that we didn't see, because there's a lot of this that we don't see. But I think that it clicked. And once it clicked, he was good. So look at this before and after of him at 505. He currently now weighs 235 pounds. Look at the difference. He said his goal weight was 275 pounds, but he flew past that and he weighs 235 pounds. As he walks out to his family, you see that, you can see the confidence just oozing off of him. He's active and he's dating, and his family who has been around him has seen the changes in him, and they are all so happy for him, not just for losing his weight, but for finding a new community with his new church, because they knew how much the church meant to him. So they go into church with him and he's just happy. And then we see him living out his newest dream. Now, I'm sorry. That's his mom that he's standing beside, by the way. Y'all, from afar, beautiful. When it got close up, I was like, oh, to each his own. Yeah, his cousins think he looks beautiful, and so did his family. He was given body, like you can tell he put in some work. Anyways, so he's living out his dream, which is to do drag. And Dr. Proctor is in the audience to surprise him. And he tells him that he's so proud of him for his transformation, as well as seeing Ty be exactly who he's always wanted to be. He said, "This is one of the best moments for me as a doctor, is seeing all these changes within him." And it is beautiful to see. So his family is there supporting him as well, as he's rubbing them fake boobies in his people's face. And his dad is like, seeing my son twirl around in his beautiful dress, doing what he wants to do is beautiful. And it just goes to show how much they support him. So we find out that at the end of this, he has now gotten 7 months later, he's lost an additional 13 pounds. He was supposed to be done already. And I can imagine how much skinnier he is because he hasn't had skin removal or anything. I would love to see that. Some of you said that in the comment section. I would love to see it too. It's amazing how shedding years of shame finally allowed him to live freely, right? And just unapologetically be himself. And him being able to do that was a breakthrough that he needed. His weight loss journey gave him back control of his life. And it just goes to show that the change doesn't always start at the gym. It happens in your mind and in your heart. And I just felt like this was a great episode to remind us of that. I think that this was good. It was. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if there's something that I didn't mention that you saw or something that you thought about while watching this, feel free to put it down below. My only request, because I know subjects like this sometimes can turn dark, is that we keep it, friendly. Because that's one of the things that I love about this community, is that we're very respectful of one another, even if we don't have the same opinions. And that's fine. We're not the same people. Like, we have differing opinions, and that's what makes us beautiful. But thank you guys so much. Until next time, say it with me now. Peace.